Hey everyone, Richard Payne here from Halifax Homes and Lifestyles at Keller Slick Realty, and we've got the stats because it's so important to know what's going on in today's market. And let me tell you, looking at these numbers, if you're a buyer, then it's going to get really interesting. As if April wasn't interestingly enough in terms of making offers and getting all that stuff done, you wait to see what May's going to do, which kind of leads us into the summer months of June. So let's get into the stats and let's see what's the underlying reasons as to what's going on here in the Halifax market. So what is the driver? What is going on here in Halifax? Because we know that when we looked at last month, which was April stats, we were down at like 3 point something months of inventory, which is incredibly low because that puts us in a hard seller's market. And when we look at what's gone on in May, we are down to 2.6 months of inventory. I don't think, and I'm pretty safe in saying this because I've been doing the stats now since I actually started 7 years ago, we have never hit this low a number. Now let's couple that with an average selling price of $352,000 average. So that means Halifax Peninsula, all the way up into Fall River, out to Porters Lake, Lawrencetown, Sackville, out into Upper Tantallon, Timberley, St Margaret's Bay, all of those lumped together and we get 352. Now, give you a little bit of context on that. Up 2.4% on last month, up 4.5% on May 2018. So go back a year because we know that Halifax is very cyclical in its nature. So we go up and then we drop down and then we come back up again in August and we drop down again. So we've got kind of like two bumps in the year. So that's when I was looking at this, I'm like, that's really interesting because up 4.5% on last year. And there are lots of listings on here that are going for more or less asking or over asking price. We've had 2 or 3 instances when we've gone like seriously over asking price on listings. So the news here is if you're a buyer, just get ready because we are in multiple offers. If you don't see the house on the first day, then really the next day it's already going to be under contract. I've had clients here that we had a $300,000 to $350,000 budget, and by the time we'd arranged some of the viewings, it was too late. They were already under offer. One place in particular we were looking at in Rockingham, it kind of, I'd made the request and immediately had the response from the listing agent that's like, we got 2 offers. Do you want to go and show it and become the 3rd multiple offer or not? So if houses are priced well and if they're in good condition, they are going so quick, because if you've only got 2.6 months of inventory, it's like that's not a lot of inventory at all. So let's look at numbers. So 724 homes sold. Now, we only sold 5,100 homes over the last rolling 12 months. So that means that we're selling just in 1 month alone, 14% of that whole number was sold in 1 month. 1 month. Active homes, we're usually around about 22 to 2,400, 1,900 homes active. 53 days on market, which again, that's rapidly coming down because we've usually in the 100 days. Well, now we're down to 53. So just over, or just under rather, 2 months. 98.4% sale to listing price. So that's creeping its way up. So let's get into which are the best markets to be in. Now, I go off these by who's the top selling markets because that's what I think are the important ones because that tells you where, funnily enough, where everyone's buying. But we have some other good ones in here as well. So number 1 is Sackville. 74 homes sold, 89 days on market, 89 properties on the market right now. That's a month. And then we're done. Nothing left for sale. 48 days on market, $267,500 average selling price. That's way up because normally Sackville is the kind of $220,000. So that's way up. Number 2, Bedford. 62 homes sold, 169 active, 2.7 months, less than 3 months of inventory in Bedford. 102 days on market. So that's the interesting one, is that's compared to everybody else's and the average of 53, that's double the average days on market. $460,000 as well. So kind of gives you an idea. Yes, it's a higher price point, but the bigger question is why so many days on market? Unless it's just a question of some of the older properties have actually dropped their price and they've got sold. Now, number 3, Upper Tantallon, Timberley, St Margaret's Bay area, 56 homes, sold, 193, which gives us just over 3 months, 3.5 months of inventory, 69 days on market, and $320,000 average price, which is actually dropped. That's normally around about 350 to 360. So a little bit interesting there. Now, here's the big thing. If you are looking in West End or North End Halifax, you got to act really quick, because when I looked at this, Halifax West, 28 homes sold, there's only 25 active. So you are less than a month inventory. 100% sale to listing price ratio. 100%. 24 days on market. That's quick. Then if we look at Halifax North End, same thing. Now there's only 10 homes sold. There's only 11 available. So just over a month on that. $325,000 average price. 99.99% sale to listing price. So that just goes to show you that the Halifax market, you've got to be ready. You've got to get in there quick. You've got to have the offers ready. There isn't really a lot of time for thinking anymore about, is this the right home? Which is a similar message to what I said to everybody last month, is these houses are going really, really quick. Now, here's the other thing. When we look at the average price of $352,000 at the end of May, at the end of January, the average price was $294,000. So we are up $58,000 over 5 months in an average price. Now, yes, the prices are going up, but I think the bigger thing here, and the way that to look at this, is you've got to be quick now. If you're buyers and you're out there and you're looking, you know, like, even if I was looking at this and I was saying, well, do you know what, I'm not quite ready now, you've got to get out there and start looking at the prices, and you've got to start getting a feel for what's the money that you're going to have to pay for the style of house in the area that you want to be in, because it's moving so quick at the moment that if you're not prepared to actually get out there and start looking at houses, like within, I don't know, an hour or two of being told by your agent that there's a house that's available, then it's going to be a struggle, because everybody else is looking and properties are going quick. So that's the news. That's really the stats for May. And if you want any further advice or any details on your particular area, because I'm kind of scanning down the list, and here's an interesting one. The highest amount of months of inventory is 7, and that's Halifax County East. So basically East Hants is the highest one at 7 months. I'm looking at things like, if I look at, where's Fall River? Fall River is 5.7 months. So less than half a year of inventory on the marketplace right now. So basically everything is looking good for Halifax. If you're a buyer, you just got to get in there and you've got to see the properties and almost like decide there and then, do you want to write the offer? And it's going to come down to, I think, getting pieces of paper out again, writing on the paper and doing it by hand, because we don't even have the opportunity now to put it on dot loop and do it digitally. We just got to turn up with the paperwork, start filling it in by hand, get signatures on it, take photographs on a PDF scanner on your phone, and fire it over to the agent and get it done. So that's what's really going on here in Halifax. If you have any questions, numbers are coming up below me down here or to the side. Subscribe if you're on YouTube as well, and stay up to date with everything, because there's a lot of videos coming your way.